Dive into the heart of a lab where science blurs the line between brilliance and madness in Hollow Man. Follow Sebastian, a genius on the brink, as he unlocks the secret to invisibility, only to spiral into a chilling abyss. Witness a groundbreaking experiment turn into a horrifying game of cat and mouse, where ethics clash with ambition and the unseen becomes the unimaginable. Join us as we unravel a tale of innovation gone rogue, where every shadow could be your end. Are you ready to see the invisible? So, picture this. There's this lab, right? And they start off by letting this rat roam around, but then out of nowhere, this invisible something just snatches it and, yup, eats it. That's your intro to the craziness. Then, we've got Sebastian, this brainy guy, hunched over his computer messing around with some high-tech chemical formula. He's trying to get something right, runs a sim, and boom, it flops. Now, get this. While he's there failing, he takes a break to peek at his neighbor undressing through the window. Classic Sebastian move, but then she closes the curtains on him. Poor guy, right? But hold up. That disappointment somehow sparks genius because he jumps back on his computer, tweaks his formula, and bam! The next simulation he runs? A total success. The element's stable now. He gets so hyped he rings up Linda to spill the beans. But, plot twist, he spots another dude in her bed during their call. Linda's like, mind your own biz, but can't help being wowed by Sebastian's breakthrough. Then there's this scene where Linda's waking up Matt, all frantic, telling him they've got to hit the lab ASAP. She suggests driving separately, dropping a hint that they should probably let Sebastian in on their secret relationship when the time's right. Flash forward to the next scene, and Sebastian's entering this high-security lab compound like he owns the place, swiping his fingerprint, password-protected elevator, the whole 9 yards. Inside, it's like a scene from a sci-fi movie with all these invisible animals only visible through thermal imaging. Matt's there, trying to be Dr. Dolittle, chatting up an orangutan, then saying hi to Isabel, this gorilla who's also invisible. She's not having a great day, jumps at her cage, and sends all the animals into a frenzy. Matt's not deterred, though. He gears up with thermal goggles to calm Isabel down, but as he tries to sedate her, she bites him and makes a break for it. There's this whole chase scene through the lab, and Matt bumps into Sebastian, telling him Isabel's gotten more aggressive lately. Turns out, being invisible for so long is messing with her brain. Alright, so things escalate pretty quick. Sebastian and Matt, they're like kids again, betting on who can tranquilize Isabel the gorilla first, right? And of course, Sebastian wins this round, tranquilizes her like some kind of jungle commando. Just as they're patting themselves on the back, Sarah bursts in, all fire and brimstone, going off about how they shouldn't be injecting Isabel with this untested serum. She's all about ethics, but Sebastian? He's on a different page, thinking it's all about saving precious time. Despite Sarah's fiery protest, Sebastian just bulldozes over her objections like a tank. Then Linda walks in, cool as a cucumber, reminding Sebastian why Sarah's on the team in the first place. Because she's top-notch, the best vet around. Fast forward a bit, and Linda's getting the serum ready, telling Sebastian they're almost good to go. Sarah, meanwhile, gives them the thumbs up that Isabel's holding up well. And then Carter strolls in, casual as you like, saying he's just there if they need a medic. Out of the blue, Frank from Tech buzzes in over the intercom, all eager, saying they're set on their end too. It's all systems go. Linda's locking the serum into this high-tech injection gun, and Matt's prepping everything for the big moment. Sarah's on vein duty, trying to find a good spot on Isabel's arm. But just as she does, Sebastian decides he's the man for the job, snatches the gun, and does the deed himself. You can literally see the serum coursing through Isabel's veins, lighting her up from the inside. Her heart's racing, and for a hot minute, it looks like a win. They can see her again. But then, plot twist, Isabel's condition nosedives straight into cardiac arrest. It's chaos. Linda's there with the defibrillator, zapping her back to life, and after a tense few moments, Isabel's heart kicks back in. Slowly but surely, she starts to stabilize, becoming more visible by the second. The tech team's over the moon, telling everyone her quantum signatures are stabilizing. It's like they've just won the Super Bowl. So, after the whole Isabel drama, Sebastian's sort of joking about the vivisection. Linda, maybe trying to cut the tension, suggests they all head out to celebrate their groundbreaking success. They end up at this restaurant, popping champagne and whatnot. But wait, it gets better. Linda and Sebastian decide to have this deep, heart-to-heart convo. Sebastian, feeling all sentimental, tries to win Linda back, but she ain't having any of it. Total shutdown. Sebastian, probably nursing his bruised ego, heads back to the lab. He's not alone, though. There's this invisible dog hanging around. He starts petting it, pondering out loud what being invisible feels like. Kind of philosophical for a guy who just got friend-zoned, right? Fast forward a bit, and Sebastian's now pitching their findings to this big-shot Pentagon committee. Dr. Kramer, the head honcho, is pressing him on how they cracked the reversion problem. Sebastian, slick as ever, straight through his teeth, claiming they're still stuck. Linda and Matt are in the background, jaws practically hitting the floor. Kramer's not amused, hinting that if Sebastian's team doesn't deliver soon, they might be out of a job. Linda and Matt confront Sebastian later, totally livid. But Sebastian, ever the strategist, explains that spilling the beans to the Pentagon would have meant handing over their project on a silver platter. His bold move? Proposing they leap into human trials. No permission, no nothing. He pitches it as their shot at changing the world, maybe even snagging a Nobel Prize. Matt's freaking out over the legal minefield they're about to dance through. Despite the team's collective cold feet, Sebastian's on a mission. He brushes off their concerns, declaring they're moving forward, committee approval or not. The day they decide to play guinea pig, Matt tries to talk Sebastian out of it. But Sebastian? He's all in, cracking jokes even as he hops onto the bed, ready to be hooked up to an IV and strapped down. The tension's palpable, enough so that Frank and Janice start a cheeky bet over who gets Sebastian's Porsche if this experiment sends him to the great lab in the sky. So, they're all set to test this crazy serum on Sebastian, right? He's all gung-ho, insisting on injecting himself because, if it all goes south, he doesn't want anyone else to take the fall. The moment he plunges that serum in, everyone's on edge, eyes glued on him, waiting for something, anything to happen. And then, bam, Sebastian starts feeling it. It's not like, oh, a little tingle, no. He's full-on convulsing, and his body starts disappearing in patches like some sort of freaky magic trick. He's groaning, saying it's way harsher than he thought it'd be. Frank's on the sideline, ready to jump in, thinking Sebastian's about to have a seizure or something. His body's flickering in and out of visibility, and his vital signs are all over the place. They're prepping the defibrillator, thinking they might have to zap him back, but then, as if by miracle, his vitals start evening out, and he's fully invisible. Frank's the one making the call, saying the phase shift's complete, while Matt's there, trying to reassure everyone that Sebastian's all right, just shocked from the whole ordeal. Fast forward 17 hours, and Sebastian's waking up. Not in the best shape, mind you. He's in pain, screaming for them to the lights, thinking he can't blink because, well, his eyelids are see-through now. They help him up, and he's straight away checking himself out in the mirror, then starts goofing around in the lab, invisible style. They decide to keep an eye on him, setting up shifts. Sarah's up first, but guess what? She dozes off, and Sebastian, still invisible, decides to take a little midnight stroll through the lab, sneaking into the observation room. It's like something out of a sci-fi show, but you can't help wondering what he's up to, roaming around invisible. Sebastian's messing around takes a creepy turn when he starts touching Sarah while she's asleep. She wakes up, freaked out, wondering if he's actually there. She checks the monitors, but nope. Sebastian's back in bed like nothing happened. The next day, Sarah's all shaken up telling Linda about it, but she's half wondering if she dreamt the whole thing. Linda's at a loss, and while Matt's itching to confront Sebastian, Sarah's like, let's not. Matt checks on Sebastian later, doing the whole vital signs routine, and everything looks normal. But when Sarah's removing his medical device, Sebastian manages to creep her out even more. Then there's Janice, feeling like she's being watched in the lab's bathroom, so she puts on thermal goggles just to feel safe. She even spills her guts to Carter about it. The team's getting jittery, chatting about the kind of trouble Sebastian could stir up now that he's invisible. They're all in agreement. This isn't going to end well. And it's like Sebastian's got ears everywhere. An empty chair spins around after they leave the room. Creepy, right? Linda's on lab duty next, and Sebastian can't help but cause more trouble, moving her stuff around. He even gets bold, offering her a massage and hinting at more, given his new invisible status. Linda's having none of it, shutting him down flat. The following day is all about trying to reverse Sebastian's invisibility. Matt and Carter get the serum ready, and Linda's there, making sure they can actually see his veins. They give him the shot, and it's like déjà vu with Isabel. You can see the serum working its magic. But then, Sebastian starts panicking, saying something feels way off, and suddenly he's choking. Sebastian's situation goes from to real quick. His vitals are all over the place, and Sarah's the one to figure out he can't breathe. She's yelling for Carter to intubate him, but Sebastian's not having any of it. He breaks free, tossing Carter aside like a ragdoll and giving Matt the boot too. He's staggering around, half visible, half not, in a total daze. They manage to get him intubated just in time before he flickers out of sight again, and Matt's there, literally pressing down on his heart to keep him alive. Somehow, they stabilize him, but Sebastian's out cold, slipping into shock and vanishing once more. When he comes to, Linda's right there, telling him he nearly bit the dust. Sebastian's like, "Let's keep this our little secret from the committee, okay?" Knowing Sebastian's going to be in this invisible predicament for a bit, they whip up a synthetic mask for him. Linda's crafting it with care, making sure he can see and breathe through it. Matt hands him a mirror, and it's a moment for Sebastian, seeing himself like that. Linda and Matt are back at square one at home, trying to the formula to reverse all this, but it's hitting them hard. They're not miracle workers like Sebastian. Fast forward 10 days, and the toll of constant tests is showing on Sebastian, both body and mind. He's at it with Matt, frustrated, and Linda's doing her best to soothe him. But Sebastian's fed up, feeling trapped and underwhelmed by their efforts to help him. That same night, he hits his breaking point. He tells Carter he's leaving, rules be damned. Carter tries to stop him, but Sebastian's not having any of it. "My rule, he says. And just like that, he's out, promising to return in a few hours. Carter, worried, dials up Linda to fill her in. Sebastian makes a daring escape from the lab compound, bypassing the concerned security guard and causing a stir in the city. His actions are unpredictable, raising alarms with Linda and Matt about his whereabouts and intentions. His return to his apartment marks a darker turn in his use of invisibility, leading to a disturbing encounter with his neighbor. This event underscores the dangerous extent of his newfound powers and his willingness to abuse them. Meanwhile, Linda's discovery in Sebastian's apartment confirms her fears about his behavior. Upon his return to the lab, the team's tension escalates as they confront the reality of Sebastian's actions and the ethical boundaries he has crossed. Linda and Matt grapple with the implications of his deeds and the responsibility of reporting him to the authorities. The team is left in a moral quandary, aware of the groundbreaking nature of their project, but horrified by Sebastian's misuse of the technology. Linda and Matt are starting to think Sebastian's new invisibility is messing with his head. Next thing you know, Carter's running tests on Sebastian, trying to get the lowdown on his nighttime adventures. Sebastian's being all cagey though, not really spilling the beans, but somehow still getting Carter to look at him like he's some kind of hero. That same night, Linda's having this nightmare where Sebastian's creeping into her room, going way too far. But then her phone rings, and just like that, she's snapped back to reality. Matt's on the other end with what he thinks could be a breakthrough. They all huddle up in the lab the next day, trying to put Matt's idea to the test. They're so close to making it work, hitting 95%, but then the simulation just crashes, and Sebastian loses it, storming out in a huff. Linda catches up to him, trying to get through about how he's been treating Matt. But Sebastian's on about how he's got this gift now that he can't even use properly because, according to him, Linda's not seeing the big picture. Later on, he comes up with this scheme to mess with the lab's security camera, making it look like he's still there when he's actually not. And then, as if he hasn't crossed enough lines, he sneaks over to Linda's place, peeking in on her and Matt. When they head to the bedroom, he goes ballistic and smashes her window. Linda, thinking something's up, the lab to check on Sebastian, but Frank, looking at the rigged camera, tells her Sebastian's right where he's supposed to be. The next day, the lab's in an uproar. The dog that's been barking non-stop? Sebastian dealt with it, and not in a good way. Sarah finds the thing and confronts Sebastian, but he's just stone cold, not giving her anything. They even check the security footage, which, thanks to Sebastian's tampering, shows him innocently in bed all night. Linda's getting seriously freaked out, thinking Sebastian's in her room. She tries to outsmart him by tossing a blanket in his direction, hoping to catch a glimpse of him or something. Totally spooked, she bolts to her car and speeds off to the lab. There, Matt tries to calm her down, saying the monitors show Sebastian's fast asleep. But Linda's not buying it. She checks his room and, surprise, he's not there. The camera ed them. Realizing they've been duped, Linda rallies the troops back at the lab. They're all on edge, debating whether to chase after Sebastian or not. Linda's leaning more towards telling the committee everything, even if it means she and Matt have to shoulder the blame. Meanwhile, Sebastian's lurking outside, eavesdropping on the whole conversation. Cut to Linda and Matt at Kramer's place, trying to get some help. But just as Kramer's about to make some hay, his phone line cuts out. He steps outside to investigate, and bam, Sebastian's there. In a chilling turn, he attacks Kramer, leaving him for dead in his own pool. The next morning, the lab's a tense place. Linda's on edge, and Sebastian's back, acting like nothing's happened. He plays it cool, saying they've got a busy day ahead. Matt, looking for Ware, mentions he only got back at 3 a.m., and they're still waiting on a back from Kramer. Linda, sensing something's wrong, decides to reach out again, not knowing the tragedy that's unfolded. When Linda Kramer's wife, she gets hit with the shocking news. Kramer drowned. Trying to escalate the issue, Linda dials up a general, but there gets cut short. Matt discovers they've been cut off from the outside world. They attempt to leave via the elevator, but their access is denied. The team quickly realizes Sebastian's behind this. In a rush to deal with the situation, Janice forgets her goggles, and when she goes back for them, she doesn't return. The group's search leads them nowhere until they confront Sebastian, who chillingly admits he's not ready to give up his newfound power, even revealing Kramer's fate. The horror escalates when they find Janice, confirming their fears. Accusations fly, with Sarah and Frank blaming Linda for not stopping the experiment sooner. Despite the tension, they decide action is necessary, setting up motion detectors to track Sebastian. The hunt for Sebastian turns chaotic. Matt and Carter split up, leading to a nerve-wracking moment where Matt nearly mistakes Carter for Sebastian. The real threat reveals himself when Sebastian attacks Carter, visible only because of the vapor from a damaged pipe. Matt's quick response highlights the dangerous game of cat and mouse. They're now playing within the confines of their own lab. Carter is seriously injured after Sebastian's attack. Linda, realizing the gravity of the situation, directs Matt's attention to Sebastian's presence. Matt fires at the pipes again, managing a fleeting glimpse of Sebastian before he vanishes, trapping Matt in the process. The heat from Sebastian's actions makes the goggles ineffective, leaving Matt virtually blind to his movements. Linda rushes to assist Matt, coordinating with the team to care for Carter. Amidst the chaos, Matt and Sebastian exchange blows, with Linda intervening just in time to prevent Matt from being seriously hurt. In another part of the lab, Sarah and Frank attend to Carter, desperately trying to stabilize him. As Sarah prepares to transport blood for Carter, she senses Sebastian's eerie presence. Ingeniously, she spills blood on the floor, hoping to track his movements. Her plan briefly reveals Sebastian, but he quickly gains the upper hand, incapacitating her with a tranquilizer gun before fatally injuring her. This moment marks a harrowing turn in their struggle, showcasing the dire consequences of Sebastian's unchecked power and the team's desperate fight for survival. In a tragic turn of events, Linda and Matt discover Frank and Carter in dire situations, with Carter having succumbed to his injuries. They return to the main lab area, where Linda stumbles upon Sarah's fate, adding to the gravity of their situation. In a moment of distraction, Sebastian seizes the opportunity to attack Frank and then Matt, demonstrating his ruthless determination to eliminate any obstacles in his path. He locks and injured Matt and Linda in the cold confines of the freezer, a move that could seal their fate. With Matt unconscious, Linda's resolve hardens. She ingeniously uses a defibrillator to create a makeshift magnet, a testament to her quick thinking under pressure. This resourcefulness allows her to open the freezer door, saving herself and Matt from an end. She quickly works to warm Matt, showing her unwavering dedication to her colleagues' well-being. Meanwhile, Sebastian's plans escalate to a new level of destruction. He prepares a bomb with the intent of obliterating the lab, a final act to erase all evidence of his deeds, and perhaps, in his mind, to escape the consequences of his actions. Linda, in a daring confrontation, intercepts Sebastian in the elevator. Displaying immense courage, she sets him ablaze, a desperate attempt to stop his madness. As Sebastian struggles, it becomes a harrowing race against time and a battle for survival, highlighting the depths of human resilience and the darkness that can consume those who lose their way. In a desperate turn of events, Linda's quick thinking leads her to release gas from a tank in an attempt to halt Sebastian, but he manages to escape. She then triggers the sprinkler system in a bid to gain any advantage. However, Sebastian, undeterred, launches the attack on Linda, intent on ending her life. Just when the situation seems dire, Matt intervenes, managing to knock Sebastian out, temporarily halting his rampage. But the danger isn't over. Sebastian, driven by a mix of rage and desperation, lunges at them again, only to accidentally electrocute himself. The shock reveals his form momentarily, a stark reminder of his humanity lost amidst his monstrous actions. Amidst the chaos, Linda and Matt spot the bomb Sebastian has set. With no time to waste, they make a break for the elevator shaft, narrowly escaping the blast that sends the elevator hurtling upwards. They find safety in a narrow space as the elevator crashes back down, a hair's breadth from sealing their fate. In a final confrontation, Sebastian, relentless even in his injured state, grabs Linda. Their struggle is intense, a fight for survival on the precipice of death. In a moment charged with tension, Sebastian's actions take a disturbing turn before Linda, with remarkable presence of mind, releases the elevator, sending Sebastian to his demise amidst the flames below. Linda's ascent back to Matt is more than just a physical climb. It's a rise from the depths of despair and a testament to their resilience. Together, they emerge from the lab, survivors of a harrowing ordeal, walking side by side into the uncertainty of what comes next, but alive and together. As we wrap up our journey through the thrilling and thought-provoking narrative of Hollow Man, we've seen the line between genius and madness blur. Sebastian's groundbreaking discovery of invisibility morphs into a dark saga of power, control, and ethical boundaries crossed. This tale not only captivates but also serves as a chilling reminder of the potential consequences when humanity's quest for knowledge overshadows its moral compass. If you found this retelling gripping, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the cinematic world's most intriguing stories. Now, I want to leave you with a question that goes beyond the surface of this film. Do you believe there are certain realms of science that should remain unexplored due to the ethical and moral dilemmas they present? How far is too far in the pursuit of scientific advancement? Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below. Let's engage in a thought-provoking discussion about the boundaries of human curiosity and the ethical implications of scientific discovery.